But with the January transfer window closing yesterday, I thought I would bring you what could be the worst January transfers of all time. So we're going to be starting off with Coutinho back in 2018. He went from Liverpool to Barcelona for 180 million.
Ooh, that's a pretty penny.
It's made him the third most expensive player in history all time, and Barcelona spent a large part of the funds they secured for PSG for Neymar, hoping Coutinho could be another Brazilian game changer. His 4 seasons at Barca were largely disappointing, managing 2 La Liga titles, but only 1 full season as a regular. To add insult to injury, Coutinho scored 2 goals for Bayern against Barcelona in an 8-2 Champions League quarter-final win in 2020, and that eliminated Barcelona. How much of a fail was that?
Yeah, he's possibly the biggest fail in all of the transfers. Not only because Barcelona signed him as a player they didn't really need for that position at the time, but they paid an awful lot of money for a player to flop. And then on top of that, had the disaster of trying to offload him, which they were stuck with him in essence until 2022 when they finally got Villa to pick him up.
Barcelona making poor financial decisions?
Well,
I'm shocked.
Dembele, listen, this is all around the same cluster in time for Barca, and I really think that as a data point, this, in my mind, is when all their financial problems started and just continued to climb forward.
And that
was it Griezmann too in that cluster?
Yeah, but Barca's financial problems were even from before that. But that transfer begat Firmino, Sadio Mane, and Salah.
Yeah, you always ask this question, and we asked this about Alexander Isak, is at what point do you sell a player? Whenever any club in world football, and you go back to the conversation Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp sat down with Coutinho and said, stay at this club and you'll become a legend. And then a massive transfer comes, and Coutinho wanted something else. He wanted to be at that blockbuster club, not knowing he was at the blockbuster club to come with all the pieces that were coming in. So, I mean, hey, Liverpool's gain was Coutinho's loss in the end.
Whew, what a way to start. Hannah, what's next?
Moving on now to Mykhailo Mudryk. In 2023, he came from Shakhtar Donetsk to Chelsea for $108 million. He struggled to justify his price tag, and he has been unable to secure a regular role at Chelsea, managing just 5 goals since his arrival. And to add to that, he is currently suspended from football for alleged doping. What do we think of that one?
Disaster.
Even worse.
He had a good 6 months, a good group stage on the international stage with Shakhtar Donetsk in the Champions League that season. He killed it. He absolutely killed it. And Chelsea bought hot. And then the doping scandal, like, forget about it. Disaster. He wasn't able to find any consistency. A lot of players at Chelsea.
He kind of just came out of nowhere, and it was such a big price tag. It was very, very surprising.
Yeah.
Quite a big failure.
Yeah, like you said, Hannah, for that
I feel
money.
bad doing these fails. Sorry. Moving on now to Fernando Torres. In 2011, he went from Liverpool to Chelsea for $80 million. And at the time of his move, it was the most expensive Premier League transfer, but the Spanish striker couldn't duplicate his Liverpool form at Stamford Bridge. He never scored more than 8 Premier League goals in any of his 4 seasons at Chelsea. Yikes. What do we think of that one?
Yeah, it's disappointing because this is a guy that could have been another club legend for the Reds and had all the makings. And that partnership with Steven Gerrard was one of the more iconic partnerships we've seen in the last decade in the Premier League. But he followed the money. And there's only so long that you can say no to the money. I mean, Stevie G almost got baited by the Chelsea money. He did have some inflection points, though. You think of the goal he scored against Barcelona in the second leg. Chelsea don't get to the Champions League final and win without that goal. So, you know, Gary Neville had that big moment. But outside of that, he was a beneficiary of being on some good Chelsea teams led by your Frank Lampards and John Terry's.
Wait, what did Neville do again?
Nico trying to not smile.
You remember the memes?
That was me waking up this morning.
Like, it's similarly to like how Kai Havertz was super questioned at Chelsea, and he ended up scoring the goal in the Champions League final to help Chelsea win. But you remember, he was like the first in the meme age. The memes were really nasty about Fernando Torres.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea fans used to batter him.
Everyone
batter him.
Batter
you know, you think of some of the goals that he missed, that you just saw the lack of confidence. And Chelsea have had during a long stretch, they had such, outside Didier Drogba, such a poor run of strikers who were good for previous clubs and just couldn't find the back of the net. But he did have his moments, though.
Apparently, I'm being told they wouldn't batter him now because he is quote unquote swole. This is not information that I am personally aware of.
I mean, congratulations on bullying the man directly into the weight room, which is honestly the most likely trajectory.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best way to come back from anything.
He's also the most swole coach in world football. Is he manager at Buddy B?
Yeah.
So don't mess with that guy.
There's got to be someone more swole than him. But he is,
On Nico's next episode segment, it's going to be most swole managers of, what, League B?
I'm going to think of somebody that's. There's got to be someone that's.
Someone in Argentina for sure.
There's got to be someone.
Okay, Hannah's got more for us.
There seemed to be a lot of fails in that transfer window in 2011 because Andy Carroll went from Newcastle to Liverpool for 56 million, and this is our next fail. So after selling Fernando Torres, Liverpool turned to Andy Carroll as his replacement, but the English striker couldn't break through in his 3 seasons at Anfield. He managed just 6 Premier League goals for Liverpool before leaving to West Ham for 6 years.
Yeah,
What do you think of that?
Not great. There were high expectations. I mean, you see Suarez coming in, right? Suarez was the guy at Liverpool that season. Andy Carroll was second highest goal scorer, tied with a couple of other guys, but he often was not starting. And that was his only... He arrived in the winter, so come the next season, he didn't start much. Craig Bellamy was starting over him, a winger that was playing a little bit more centrally. Stevie G was scoring a lot, so... Nah.
A bit of a fail.
Bit.
We've got our last fail now, and it's Alexis Sanchez in 2018. He went from Arsenal to Manchester United in a straight swap for Henrik Mkhitaryan. Sanchez became one of the highest paid players in the Premier League at the time, leading up to around 500,000 a week. But it wasn't really clear where he would fit in at Old Trafford. Manager at the time, Jose Mourinho, described Sanchez as a sad man. The problems with this transfer were due to Sanchez's lack of fitness and dressing room impact. Imagine being told you're a sad man by Jose Mourinho. That would hurt.
I guess money really can't buy happiness. 500K a week?
Yeah.
Do you remember his introduction video?
Oh my, thank
playing
you.
The piano?
Oh my gosh. That when I saw that told me he was going to go bad. And then also, because I was like, why? I want him to be showing goals, not dun, 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 or whatever he was playing. And in his presser, he also said, Manchester United, I've always wanted to play for Manchester United, which he also said about Arsenal, which he also said about Barcelona. As a child, I always dreamt of it. And I was like, give me a break, man. I never liked it from the beginning.
It's all those intro videos nowadays. They're becoming like so popular. And if you have a good one, maybe you're going to have a fail.
It was dramatic. You guys don't remember it? It was like shot in the dark.
Yeah.
And it was ominous, and he's playing the piano. Like, I don't know if you
unlocked
can
a memory
actually...
that I probably put in the back of the vault because it was, I don't know, it was a little bit of secondhand embarrassment with that. But yeah, it was dramatic.
It wasn't the only fail, though, in that transfer swap, because Henrik Mkhitaryan didn't really deliver for Arsenal. But we're focusing on Alexis Sanchez.
You're just going to strays to Mickey for what? Poor guy.
He's back stronger.
2018 and 2011 saw some
big fails.
Some big fails.